The world is getting to me and I had the stomach flu, so animated it is. Welcome to December. First up, we have the star. It's the lady by the water. You know, you'll see it in the cards when we look at the cards anyway. So first card out is the star. Mercury has moved into Capricorn as of December 1st. So Virgo rising, that's going to put that in your 5th house. Okay? So Mercury is retrograde on the 13th in your 5th house. Now, what does that mean? So we have here the 6 of Cups and the 5 of Cups. Okay? And the other two cards are the 5 of Wands and the 9 of Swords. You're just unsure. You're argumentative. You're suspicious. You're unsure about love. You don't know how they feel. I don't think you know how you feel. Usually, I feel like Virgos are masters of projection. I can always tell how a Virgo feels. Like Virgos will be like, whoa, how could you tell I was feeling that way? And in my head, I'm like, you've been projecting this for hours, days, weeks even. So I find it really easy to tell how you're feeling because it's just whatever you're projecting onto other people. Because you don't know how to process your feelings, and that's fine. You know how to think about your feelings, you know how to think about everything, but you don't know how to process your feelings. So they generally come out towards criticism of others. So whatever, I always know what's bothering you by what you criticize in others. I know that's a lot to read for the first 30 seconds, and I'm sorry about that. Okay. So you're unsure about love, and you aren't sure if you're in touch with your own feelings, really. I think time will tell, but you also have to be patient and like really ask yourself about how you genuinely feel. And the theme of your reading is like changing out the light in your lamp or changing the candle in your lamp, because we have this extended period of darkness coming up. You want to make sure that, you know, the hermit's lamp is very secure in its light, and it's going to continue through these dark months. And I think that has a lot to do with this little bit about love here. You know, you've got to make sure that you know how you really feel instead of getting caught up in just being reactive to how somebody else feels. So if you're hyper focusing on how the other person feels, whether it's a relationship, a situationship, a flirting, I think you're only doing that. You're hyper fixating on them so you can react to them, so you don't actually have to deal with what may be going on inside. I don't think you want to know. So Jupiter is retrograde until the 21st of December. Now, what does that mean for you? You know, it's a time to make some grown-up decisions. Those of you who have been prolonging something that really didn't work and you've just been doing it either 6 of Cups for the kids or, you know, to keep the peace, that star card Aquarius energy can be real like vile that way. They'll stay with somebody for all the wrong reasons. It can be kind of sick the way Aquarians will stay in a situation like for the kids and then like genuinely just fucking hate the person. 8 of Wands. Yeah, this moves fast now. I think that if you want to take full advantage of Jupiter going direct, you have to make some quick grown-up decisions, but these are decisions you should have made a long time ago. So it's not like you have to think them through. You've thought them through a lot. And I think part of the reason that you may be so fixated on how somebody else feels is because these grown-up decisions are things that you've been putting off. And I think you're still trying to distract yourself with like romance and bullshit when you have something pretty serious in front of you. Now, for single Virgos who have no kind of nothing going on, right? This becomes a time where you're hyper fixated on your past. You want to analyze your past relationships. You want to go back and kick yourself for things retroactively where like it doesn't matter anymore what happened back then. But you're so hyper fixated on just like the dynamics of you with other people when it comes to romance and love, that if there's nothing currently going on, you'll just like pull something from the past and bring it back and start to open it up and rehash it. And it's pretty unhealthy. The 5 of Cups, the 5 of Wands, the 9 of Swords, it's very unhealthy. It's got no real purpose. There's no constructive anything coming out of this. You're just kicking yourself. And that's interesting. I don't think I've ever made that connection before, that sometimes you will batter yourself. I get the part where you criticize others because you can't process your feelings, but I didn't realize until just this moment that sometimes you'll beat the shit out of yourself so you don't have to make a decision. That actually makes a lot of sense to me. Sorry, it's very rare that you hear that kind of glee come out of me. That kind of glee is reserved solely for like intellectual insight. Like when my brain like figures something out, that's the sound it makes. And I hate that you guys now have that on film and camera. I hate that it happened during a Virgo reading. I'm a Virgo moon. Everything I'm saying here applies to me and I hate it. Okay, listen, let's keep going. The thing is, I'm thirsty. Hold on one second. I realized after I said I'm thirsty how that sounds. I'm not comfortable with that. Okay, so listen. No, I get it now. Okay, listen, the other thing you're going to try to do is you're going to try to start something new. This Mars and Sagittarius energy has you fucked up. You're going to really try to start something new as another way to distract yourself from making these grown-up decisions. And it's like when like the real like fuckboy aspect of you comes out, when you're running from your problems and you're running from the shit you said and you're running from consequences and you like run headfirst into some kind of like dumb romance situation. Please don't do that. Ooh, that situation will hurt you later. Please don't do that. That's just not the right thing to do, especially with Mercury retrograde coming up, especially the way these placements are, especially when Mercury's going from Capricorn back into Sag. Nope, this is not the time. Now, let's talk about Venus and Scorpio. Okay. Venus is in your 3rd house, Virgo rising. Okay. Where it will, across from Venus, now in Scorpio, you have Jupiter and Uranus. I already told you Jupiter's going direct on the 21st. Jupiter and Uranus, Virgo rising, is in your 8th house. Okay, we have a couple of cards here. Let's see. Actually, more than a couple. We have the 10 of Cups and the Lovers. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so slow, right? Don't get caught up in the hype here. I think the 10 of Cups and the Lovers here is like you're seeing what someone else is doing and like you want to be like them. You feel like you're smart enough. You could do it even better than them. When it comes to money, when it comes to career, money, investing, you're not really going to get the same results as the person that you're trying to mimic. So the reason is, I think sometimes you guys miss the fact that most money stuff or money work, however you want to call it, money craft, whatever you want to call it, is energetic. So just because you do the same things that you see somebody else doing doesn't mean you're going to get the same results. And sometimes that really bothers you because you miss the part about energy. So right now is one of those times where Knight of Pentacles, money that moves slow, someone who moves slow. 2 of Pentacles, don't play with your fucking money. This money has been earned slowly. You need to move slow and not play with your money. 10 of Cups and the Gemini card, because remember, the Gemini card is also a card of deceit, right? So 10 of Cups, Gemini card is like you're seeing something and you're like, oh, that looks really good. I want to put my money in that. I want to invest in that. I want to do that. I want to be like that. That's not for you. Don't get caught in any hype. Don't invest in anything right now. It's not the right time for you. Right now is the time for you to go with the wave of just saving money and sitting on it. It is time to save. If you don't get anything else from this reading, from now until spring, It is time to save. Do not invest or spend your money on anything. Because here's the thing, I'm going to give you like a simple example, right? Say you see some fly by the seat of their pants Gemini investing in something like Bitcoin, okay? That person is going to day trade that shit and get out like 2 days later. If you follow them and get into that shit and you buy it here and it drops to here because it's gonna do that shit again, right? You're not gonna stay on top of it like that fly by the seat of their pants Gemini and make that crazy decision when they need to and get out. You will end up in it and get stuck in it. So that's a very small example for you right now. The way you are set up, you need to save money. If you're tempted to get involved in an investment because it just seems too good to be true, just remember that anything that is too good to be true when it comes to money, when it comes to business, it is too good to be true. That's it. Simple. Okay? So now, when it comes to the Knight of Pentacles here and the Two of Pentacles is also about things that are decided and now are just moving too slow. So if you've been in a negotiation, if you've been tied up in something where certain points are settled already, and now you feel like you're going back to those points, whether it's at work, whether it's with your family, whether it's with a loved one, like we already talked about that. We already established that. Why are we talking about that again? Why are we going back on that again? Like, what is the point of getting hung up on stuff that we already talked about? King of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, and this Eight of Pentacles. Why are we going back and working on stuff that's already been worked on? Something that's worked on, put away, it's done already. Like, what is the point of rehashing that again? That's Mercury retrograde. And I'll tell you what, whether they're doing it to you as a business tactic or negotiating, tactic, or it's a loved one, a romantic, a romantic partner, I'll tell you, as someone who almost exclusively dates Virgos, it's really easy to fuck your shit up by just going back to a point that you've already agreed to and like rehashing that again. Because it just drives you so crazy because you put so much work into like establishing like, okay, that's established. Okay, we're putting that away. We're closing the book on that one. We're not going to talk about that again. I know, and dark psychology, like I don't do this anymore, but when I was younger, I did this. I know that the best way to get you off your feet or get you off your balance is to go back and rehash that shit that you already put away. Because in your head, you're so compartmentalized that once it's put away, it's like safe. It's like, okay, boom, we don't have to open that again. Any wounding, any pain, anything that had to do with that, I put that shit away. So when I open that box back up, when I want to go back and look at that stuff, I may want to go back and look at it because X, Y, and Z that we agreed on, I'm not really sure about. What I have to realize and remember is that you put all your pain, all your wounding, everything that was associated with that in there, and you put it away, which is why you were able to move on, right? Which is why you were able to proceed, whether it's a business negotiation or personal. So if someone is making you rehash settled points right now and making you go back over the work, one, don't lose your temper. Don't lose your temper because that's what they want. Okay? 2, the more rigid you are about going back and looking at things without explaining to them, like, listen, you're actually making me bring up all kinds of feelings that I don't want to feel. If you're just rigid and say nothing else and don't communicate, people will not trust you. They will think that you have something to hide here. And you don't. You have nothing to hide. So you see what I'm saying? You're being rigid because of a whole other reason. So just tell them what the reason is. Right? Okay. Because why should people not trust you? Like, you are trustworthy. You should be trusted. You're just having a really big problem with the way they're going about it. And you're right. It's not even that you're wrong. They're doing it to upset you. They're doing it to get you on weaker footing. And you're just going to give them that by being rigid. By being the way that you know principally you should be, you will give them what they want. So you need to be smarter than that. You need to be smarter than yourself. Yo, sometimes I want to throw my phone like to the other side of the world. I've been turning my phones off and like I am beginning to have the most hateful relationship with like technology, communicating, fucking the internet, fucking social media. Like I'm just beginning to despise all of it. I don't know. I actually can't explain it. I don't know what's going on with me. I had a couple of days where I was sick and I wasn't on my phone at all. And I just, like, I feel like I recalibrated in some way. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Let's keep going. So the rest of the money stuff, the rest of mental health, and then we have mental health and wellness, and then we have, I'm pretty sure there's 2 pages of yelling. Yep. And then there's a lot of just lecturing you about Mercury retrograde in your 4th house. And then we're going to talk a little bit about timeline shifting. And the misunderstandings that can arise when you're in the midst of that, right? You have this deep desire right now to jump yourself somewhere better for you. And a lot of people are trying to get you off of your strong footing. And I see that through the whole reading. It's like people are, you feel suspicious already, but people are trying to undercut you, but with a smile. People are trying to like push you off your footing, but like as if they're like hugging you, not like they're pushing you to the ground. Like, oh my God, I was just hugging you. I can't believe you fell. You know, it's that kind of shit. It's very weird. And it makes you want to like go into yourself. It makes you not want to, talk. And that's okay, because the whole thing that we're going to discuss in the extended has to do with like changing the bulb out of your lamp, right? Because there's so much that needs to be thought about privately right now as we go like deep into the winter. There's so much that needs to be thought about, like just you by yourself. And I think people instinctively know when you're about to go into your cave, because they start like really getting at you and they want to like hook into you and they want to stay with you and they want to like go into the cave with you. And again, as someone who almost exclusively dates Virgos, I feel like one of the things that makes me so palatable to Virgos is like, if you want to go into your cave, Virgo moon, I'm going in my cave too. I don't want to follow you into your cave. That's goofy. Like, who does that? I don't know. My favorite thing about Virgos is that you understand boundaries, privacy, limitations. Like, you have your own boundaries, your own privacy, your own limitations. Like, of course you're going to understand mine. You know what I mean? Going into somebody's cave is crazy. No, it's nuts. That's why he gets so pissed when he sees Marla in his cave. Remember? She's like, go into your cave. And then it's Marla instead of the penguin. And she's like, slide. And he's like, what the fuck? Why are you in my cave? Like, it's annoying to be in somebody's cave, to go in somebody's cave. So anyone who's trying to follow you in there, parting words before the extended, anyone who's trying to follow you into your cave, being needy, being weird, being emotional, trying to guilt trip you, ew, this person doesn't understand that you need time by yourself to be the best you, or they do understand that and they don't want you to be your best you, and they're trying to sabotage you. Love you. I really like this filter.